Nice to have you join us on this edition of Newsline. I am Jennifer Igwe. Now, plastic is non-biodegradable. What that means is that it can be in the environment for decades, constituting a nuisance long after we have discarded them after use. Plastic pollution, experts say, is detrimental to our health, environment, and even the economy. And they are everywhere from the mountaintops to the ocean floor. And the numbers will continue to increase if we do nothing to check it. And the actions, initiatives to control plastic waste must not be from the government alone. You and I, no matter how small, can do something. Our correspondent has a story of an initiative in Lagos in that direction. And this story is very important as we mark World Environment Day on June 5th. Now, snakes are creatures many would rather not have in the environment. And when they end up in our toilets in ways that are extremely creepy, then a call to action is needed. We have a feature on how to keep snakes away from our homes and an allegation of snake bite initiation in some schools. We will cross over to cultural traditions in Borno State that has existed for decades. It symbolizes something unique. It's a heritage, and a feature on it will explain more. Then another young Nigerian has achieved world record in a unique sport. Can you guess? More details soon. You just have to hang on. But first, we'll take the news segment, and my colleague Elizabeth Omori is set for it. Hello, Lizzie. Nice to see you.
Hello, Jennifer. It's nice to see you as well. And thanks for joining us in Abuja. We begin with a meeting between a delegation of the federal government and the leadership of the Trade Union Congress, which ended with an agreement to reconvene on Tuesday, the 6th day of June. The meeting at the State House, Abuja, was attended by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Malik Kyari, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, former Governor of Edo State, Adams Oshomole, among other government representatives. After the meeting, which lasted for more than 2 hours behind closed doors, participants emerged with assurances of some headways.
We are very happy to announce to Nigerians that this engagement has been very productive. The TUC that attended today's meeting presented a list of demands, and those demands we have studied and we are going to present to Mr. President for his consideration. But those demands, we can announce to Nigerians that a lot of the items on the list are not impracticable. What we need to do is to study the numbers very well, and then we have asked the TUC to also give us a leeway to consult very exhaustively and come back on Tuesday, reconvene on Tuesday to actually look at the numbers, the viability, practicability of all the items that have been presented to us. Now, most important, top priority on the list, which the government is also looking at very seriously, and the president has announced before, is the issue of the minimum wage, which the labor movement has demanded as a consequence of these removal of the consequential impact of the removal of subsidy. So government is looking at that, and Mr. President is most likely going to constitute a tripartite committee. That is the committee of federal government and including the states, then the organized labor on the other part, and the private sector. Now, this is a tripartite arrangement. It will be a committee that will study all the dynamics of a wage increase, the percentages, the numbers, and the categories that will be affected.
Topmost in our demand was clearly stated as well that for utmost good faith, and in the interest of social dialogue, that they should revert back the pump price while discussion continues. Part of it was the demand for a minimum wage, and we stated that for us it is quite apt that the minimum wage today is not a living wage, as we all know. The value of the minimum wage since it was started negotiated has plummeted to a very abysmal level as it is today.
As correspondent Musbautan Wahab reports that this is the second time the government is meeting with the Labour Union for the same purpose in 5 days. Nigerian Labour Congress was, however, not represented at the meeting. The NLC had directed its members to commence strike on Wednesday, 7th of June, if the NNPC Limited refuses to reverse the recent increment in the petrol pump price. Now, former President Muhammadu Buhari has submitted his assets declaration forms to the Code of Conduct Bureau in line with Chapter 6 of the Constitution and acknowledged by the CCB with a receipt issued. A statement by his publicity team notes that the declaration shows that his movable assets did not increase within or outside Nigeria. Neither did he open additional bank accounts nor collect loans and has no liability. Animals in his farm, the statement adds, have however recorded a little decrease as he had given out some as gifts. And more eminent Nigerians are still trooping into Dara on a thank you visit to the immediate past President Muhammadu Buhari. The recent callers are senators-elect led by former Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari. Hussaini Sulaiman reports.
This is another delegation of the lawmakers, senators-elect, led by Senator Abdulaziz Yari, who are in Daura to thank and commend former President Muhammadu Buhari for his services and commitment to the Nigerian project.
We are here, sir, to once congratulate you for serving our nation for the past 8 years and completing the term.
It is an amalgamation of different political parties who endorse Abdulaziz Yari as our candidate for Senate presidency coming June 13, inshallah.
The immediate past President Muhammadu Buhari, who attributed the success of his administration to cooperation from National Assembly, urged the senators to support the present administration for progress.
So I thank you very much and I congratulate you that your constituencies identify you and they agree that you should come. We have succeeded, because if we haven't succeeded, I don't know, how can 5 sitting governors, 10 rather, lose seats to the Senate?
The delegation comprised senators-elect from different parties that support Abdulaziz Yari of Zamfara State bid to be the president of the Senate. From Daura in Katsina State, Hussaini Suleiman, NTA News.
Let's take you to Owerri in Imo State, where residents have expressed optimism in the development of Nigeria. Bright Ebuchu reports that they are of the opinion that President Tinubu will bring his wealth of experience to bear.
The smooth transition of power from one democratically elected administration to another, despite pockets of speculations, heralded to the inauguration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of May 29, 2023, is a testament to Nigerians' growth in democracy. Reacting to the President Bola Tinubu's inaugural speech, some residents of Owerri say that the speech gave a clear roadmap on how he intends to tackle the challenges facing the nation, especially in key sectors.
President has assured that there will be food and Nigerians will be able to afford it at a minimal cost. The president has assured that education will no longer be interrupted as it used to be.
He will surpass the expectation of Nigerians. He will indeed surpass the expectation of Nigerians. And for us, Imolites, and of course the Southeast people, we are very convinced that this administration will benefit us. We are also convinced that the cordial relationship of Imo State government and the center will further be activated for the good of Imolas and of course Ndibu.
Regarding to the past administration of President Buhari, he did his best. Then with this new administration of President Tinubu, I believe he will improve on those areas that President Buhari did not touch.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared his resolve to work with all parts of the country and has asked Nigerians to join him in making Nigeria a more perfect nation and democracy, such that the Nigerian ideal becomes the Nigerian reality. In Owerri, Bright Ebuchu, NTA News.
With the rising pump price of premium motor spirit across the country, many are sourcing for alternatives to using their cars. Can you ever imagine bicycles taking the place of cars on the highways? Well, in this special report, Oyeyemi Ajayi takes a look at the possibility and how efficient that will be.
The road, major theater of transportation, with cars tagged the major actors. Statistics reveal that 11.8 trillion cars ply the Nigerian roads yearly, with numbers increasing by the day. Maybe that's why road crashes became the major source of death, not just in the country, but globally as well. Over time, efforts have been made to reduce this unbearable burden, but the hydra-headed monster keeps surmounting the hurdle. Now, to look for other ways, including embracing bicycles as a major means of transportation. In other climes, bicycle is an effective and efficient means of transportation, especially with the benefits embedded, but yet to be popular in Nigeria.
You know, in Nigeria here, now if somebody see you now, you are on cycling, the first thing that will come to their mind is that, see this poor man. So first, we need to advocate about this thing and tell people about the health benefit.
With different awareness campaigns, stakeholders have tried convincing the people on the benefits of riding bicycles, especially as an answer to the burden of road crashes.
So to ensure safety, the road network must be designed considering the vulnerable road users who are the most at risk in mind, as they will feel safe walking and cycling, as this will further promote good health, sustainable cities and equitable society.
Maybe necessity will now compel the people to look that way, realizing that the fuel subsidy is gone, with prices of fuel already on the rise.
Cycling is a saving grace. Your health-wise cycling is very, very good, because as a cyclist, if you are riding, you are fit at all time. The cost of maybe fuel, as you have said, is gone.
Children of young age, they should be using it to school, but government should be able to provide a safety road which they can ride on without motorists hurting them on the road.
In the light of this, many are now pleading for road networks to be redesigned to allow free movement of bicycles across the country, as many are already thinking in that direction. So, what are your thoughts? Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
It's really an alternative. Thank you, Oyeyemi. Now to oil and gas. Nigeria, alongside other OPEC and non-OPEC members at the Joint Ministerial Monitoring Committee meeting of OPEC, have agreed to a production cut in order to ensure global oil market stability. Nigeria, Congo and Angola agreed that their highest production volumes of the last 6 months, November 2022 to April 2023, be used as basis for the determination of their 2024 production quota. Nigeria's highest production of crude oil of 1,383,000 barrels per day was achieved in February 2023. OPEC decided to allow these countries continue to produce maximally in accordance with their OPEC quota of 2023. This implies that Nigeria can ramp up its production up to its current quota of 1,742 barrels per day and subsequently be capped at 10% less as its quota for 2024, subject to verification by independent secondary sources. Nigeria delegation says it is confident that the ongoing security intervention under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will enable the restoration of the country's production to 1,580 barrels per day, crude oil only. This will be complemented by condensate of about 400,000 barrels per day. To keep pace with the changing dynamics of the various sectors of the nation's economy, especially in the wake of digitization, tertiary institutions' curricula need to be reviewed periodically to meet industry demands. Against this background, experts are of the opinion that it is the only way graduates can be job-ready after school. Joel Bupola reports.
The world is evolving with new trend and technology changing the way we live our lives. Same applies to the industry, hence the need for synergy between academics and professionals to know the changing dynamics to ensure undergraduates who are in various higher institutions are not oblivious of what is expected of them amidst the paradigm shift. This underscores the need for cross-fertilization of ideas between academics and professionals in various fields of human endeavors to produce graduates that can function with minimum supervision.
You must have the fundamental tenets that actually help build a house, and that's really what we need. And the collaboration across the sectoral groups, very important. Exchange between the town and the gown, working from a common competency framework so that we are all looking at the same thing at the same time because of the same audience we are trying to build. And at the end, the industry gets better for it.
There's a wide gap between the academic and the reality of the practice. So what we want is a robust curriculum in such a way that when students are finishing from the university, they will be useful and they can hit the ground and start running from the first day of employment.
We are trying to come up with the kind of curriculum that can at least take care of some of the changes that we have seen or we are witnessing now. But definitely as the curriculum is coming on board, new things are coming up.
Beyond the consistency of the curriculum, industrial training should not be treated with kid gloves, while membership and certification by professional bodies should be made mandatory. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
Away from education, following the fatal crash that occurred along Kano Ringim Road on the 2nd of June 2023, which claimed 18 lives and 12 injured, the Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps, Dauda Alibiu, cautions motorists against dangerous overtaking, night travels and overloading across the country. In a statement by the Corps Public Education Officer, Assistant Corps Marshal Bisi Kazim, the Corps Marshal calls for patience and collective vigilance on the road to avoid unnecessary road accidents. He assures of intensive surveillance and urges the public to always dial the FRSC emergency number 122 for swift response to distress across the country. To drug interception, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has conducted successful operations across Nigeria, resulting in significant seizures and arrests. In Edo State, a warehouse containing over 3 tons of skunk was discovered in Iwe Forest and subsequently destroyed. Additional 76.9 kilograms of Canadian loud was seized from vehicles at Port Harcourt Ports Complex. In Kano, Kaduna, Borno and Oyo states, the NDLEA conducted raids and recovered 390 kilograms of illicit drugs with multiple arrests made. And the chairman of the Police Service Commission, Solomon Arase, has promised to look into the status of qualified lawyers serving in the Nigeria Police Force, appearing in courts with the ranks of corporals, sergeants and inspectors. The chairman, who made the promise when he received the leadership of the Abuja branch of the Nigerian Bar Association, says cases of other junior police officers who acquired additional certificates in other disciplines while in office will also receive the attention of the Commission. Chairman of the NBA Abuja branch, Afam Okeke, revealed that lawyers who came into the police force as junior officers, now with higher qualifications, are currently appearing and defending cases in courts for the Nigeria Police Force, but still wearing junior ranks. Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State condemns in strongest terms the recent terrorist attacks on 2 communities of Sakidar, Magaji and Jambako in Maradun local government area of the state, where police confirmed 13 persons dead and 9 girls abducted. The governor, who described the deadly attack as barbaric, regrets that it is coming at a time the new administration in the state is strategizing on how best to combat the protracted security challenges being faced by the state. While sympathizing with families of victims, the governor in a statement reassured them of government's commitment to averting a reoccurrence. The statement adds that the governor has also directed the deployment of more security personnel to the affected area, track down the terrorists and safely rescue the 9 abducted girls. Based on entertainment, the expression of ideas and emotions with the creation of certain aesthetic qualities were displayed through painting at the 2023 Nigeria China Painting Awards ceremony in Abuja. Juliana Nicholas reports that the event was organized by the Chinese Embassy in Nigeria.
Creativity at its peak. It is the 2023 China-Nigeria Painting Competition Awards ceremony jointly organized by the China Cultural Center in Abuja and the Federal Capital Territory Secondary Education Board. The competition, which started with more than 10 entrants of the China Corner Schools in the FCT with 100 pieces of paintings collected, it all comes down to the top 5 finalists in this hall. These works of art on display are products of undergraduate students of FCT secondary schools.
For this competition that you see that has come to forth for awards today, honestly, it is in the followership of a system that has developed for us to stay together, live and to love ourselves. And we'll say, long live Nigeria, long live China.
Over 40 African countries, over 3,000 paintings. Among them, Mr. Prosperous painting win first prize.
The competition is poised to groom and support young Nigerians to harness their potential in creativity.
I'm very excited. I'm happy that we are known all over the world for good things, not for the wrong reason. So I'm very happy to the dream they have and the competition, marrying them together. This will make them feel a sense of belonging.
With the theme, My Dream, a winner has emerged, but take home for these young creative minds is to translate their passion for economic growth as well as a tool for sustainable development. In Abuja, Juliana Nicholas, NTA News.
In other news, Vice President Kashim Shettima, Senate President Hamid Lawan, Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum, and his Yoruba State counterpart Maimala Boni were amongst sympathizers who attended a funeral prayer for the repose of the soul of the immediate past secretary to the Borno State government, Usman Jida Shua. Mohammed Goni reports that the former SSG died at the age of 65 after a brief illness.
The funeral prayer, led by the Chief Imam of Borno, Laisu Ibrahim Ahmed, also had in attendance Borno State Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadafur, former Kebbi State Governor Atiku Bagudu, Shehu of Borno Abubakar ibn Umar Garba El Kanemi, and Shehus of Dikwa and Bama, as well as past and present members of national and state assemblies. After the funeral rites, the remains of the deceased was conveyed to Gwangi graveyard for interment according to Islamic rites. The congregation prayed Allah to grant the deceased eternal rest and the family he left behind the fortitude to bear the loss.
We lost a colossus. He is the last of the great titans, an icon with huge institutional memory of how the system works. We are sorely going to miss his wise counsel, his intellect, his work ethics, his capacity and commitment to good governance.
A technocrat for excellence, led Usman Jideshua was appointed chairman, Borno State Teaching Service Board, honorary special advisor to Borno State Governor, and later secretary to the state government in 2015 until the recent cabinet dissolution last week. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
And that ends the news segment. Newsline will continue after this break with Jennifer. To stay with us.
Nigeria means a lot to me.
And Nigeria means peaceful cohesion.
My country.
We continue to pray, and then hopefully we will come to understand that unity of purpose, unity of living together.
Our ethnic beliefs and background
and culture is our strength.
Ever since the amalgamation period of 1914 to date, about 109 years ago, the people of Nigeria live very peacefully with one another.
I think diversity helps a lot to enhance robust development in Nigeria.
All over the country, you have so many ethnic groups, over 250. That is enough to tell you that this is a blessed country, and God has kept, together as one indivisible entity.
Are you a dealer in cars, jewelry, precious metals and stones and luxury goods? Are you into real estate, or are you an estate agent, surveyor, valuer, developer or broker? Are you into the hospitality industry, lottery business, or are you a mortgage broker, tax consultant or an accountant? Do you have a supermarket, pools betting and consulting or construction company? If you have, go and obtain your certification from the Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering, SCUMOL, and be free to do your business within the ambits of the law. SCUMOL has the responsibility to monitor, supervise, and regulate the activities of designated non-financial business and professions, DNFBPs, across the country. Please note that the SCUMOL certificate is not a guarantee of legitimacy of any business. To register, visit www.scumol.org. For collection of certificate, visit any EFCC office nearest to you. Remember, registration is free.
SCUMOL, securing Nigeria's business environment. This message is from Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
The Executive Secretary, Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, invites stakeholders to the National Conference on Teacher Professional Development. Theme, Transforming Teacher Professional Development in Nigeria for Improved Learning Outcomes in Basic Education. The conference will hold as follows. Date, Monday 5th to Tuesday 6th June 2023. Venue, Exclusive Serene, Hotel and Suites, Plot 31 Ruben Okoye Crescent, off Olusegun Obasanjo Way, Wuye, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. prompt. The conference will be declared open by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Education, Mr. Andrew David Adejo. This is for the information of the general public. Announcer, Dr. Hamid Boboye, Executive Secretary, UBEC.
Fighting here and there, we don't want it at all. Killing people today, tomorrow, we don't want it at all. And we don't want separation. You do your own, I do my own. Make you go. No. We don't want that one.
We may quarrel and disagree, but let it be on the table of dialogue.
No blood, chaos, war, violence.
Let us stand with our nation as one people. And we must also stand for the armed forces. They are our husbands and wives. They are our brothers and sisters.
Please support the armed forces,
whose lives are always on the front line to protect our nation. Nigeria is your own, Nigeria is mine, Nigeria is our own. Our uniqueness is in our oneness. Our oneness is our strength.